Around the NFL, we begin with Davante Adams, who was officially introduced to the media in Las Vegas yesterday. Here's what he had to say about his time with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay.
Me playing in Green Bay, great situation. Having, greatest quarterback to play the game, that's a dream in itself. So I'll never take anything away from, anything Green Bay gave me or, Aaron gave me. It was an amazing opportunity to work over there and do what I did for almost a decade. But, things change sometimes. It's not the first time that an impactful player to an organization had to leave. I feel like it worked out for both sides ultimately.
That all-black Raider fit looked good. All right, Robert, Adams goes from Rodgers to Derek Carr. What'll football look like for Adams this fall?
Well, this decision personally for his personal life is excellent, right? He gets to live out a childhood dream. You heard him talk about it. Money-wise, he's getting to collect the money that he has earned because he is one of the best receivers, if not the best receiver in the league. But professionally, he has not set himself up to win more games by going to the loaded AFC West. So Davante Adams, I'm happy for him. He deserved to get paid. He earned all that money. But football-wise, he's going to have to do a lot to help his team win more than he had to do with the Packers.
Yeah, that AFC West is stacked. Okay, well, many of the top free agents have already signed with new teams this offseason. There's still plenty of talent on the market. Look at all these guys, especially at wide receiver. Here's a look at some of the veterans still available, including Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry, Julio Jones, and A.J. Green. So some huge defensive names still out there in free agency as well. Let's bring Adam back in for this. And Adam, take us through some of the top guys available. Let's start with Bobby Wagner.
Yeah, Bobby Wagner surprisingly released in Seattle, a future Hall of Fame linebacker. I think in a perfect world, he'd like to stay on the West Coast if he could. He's gotten some interest from Atlanta. He's gotten some interest from Dallas. Don't know whether either of those teams can make it work. We'll see. And Bobby Wagner continues to search for the right situation for his talents. I don't think it'll be long before he finds a home. As for the former Chief safety, Tyrann Mathieu, essentially also on the street, we have not seen a lot of movement at the safety market. And certainly the money is not going to be what he wanted. The Chiefs filled his spot by signing Justin Reed, formerly of the Houston Texans. And now the Honey Badger has to go find a new home, which he hasn't done yet. Doesn't seem to be in any rush, looking for the right opportunity to go forward. Not sure that he'll be signed anytime soon, but we'll see.
Interesting. So that's the read on Mathieu. RC, what's your reaction to the fact that Mathieu doesn't yet have a home?
It's been extremely strange. Look at the safety market. It hasn't moved a ton. Obviously, we saw Marcus Williams go out and get his money from Baltimore, and we saw what happened with Jaron Kearse in Dallas. But Tyrann Mathieu is still one of the premier players at the position. I would love to see him get to go to somewhere like the Dallas Cowboys, somewhere like the New Orleans Saints, that could use a leader and a playmaker at that position with a ton of versatility. We'll see what happens, but I know for the next 2 to 3 years, someone's going to get them an excellent player, and I would love to see him in the black and gold right down the road.
Ooh, I love it. Yeah, by the way, his Twitter's been kind of fun to watch. He's been putting some stuff out there a little bit, giving us some hints about how he's feeling. The news doesn't stop here in the NFL. Tyreek Hill is a Dolphin. We're going to talk about the stunning trade with our resident GM, Mike Tannenbaum. Can you build a roster and pay both a starting quarterback and a top wide receiver? We'll give you the details next on NFL Live. And how about Mina Kimes weighing in on all this? She says, what's next for the Chiefs? 1, draft Chris Olave. 2, sign OBJ to a 1-year deal. 3, profit. I like it, Mina. We see you. Mina Kimes is also a GM, so there you go. We'll be right back on Live. What can you tell us, Adam?
Well, Laura, he's going back to New England. The player who mysteriously didn't play in a Super Bowl, who also made the interception against Russell Wilson, reached agreement with the Patriots on a 2-year deal worth up to $9 million. He had been out of football. He's now back in football. And keep in mind, the Patriots did lose J.C. Johnson to the Los Angeles Chargers. They went out and signed Terrence Mitchell, one cornerback. They've now added another cornerback. And I think that they think that they're in a situation here where with J.C. Jackson in L.A. that they can try to help fill that void with the arrival or the reemergence of Malcolm Butler.
Yeah, nice to see him going back where a lot of people were. Manning Center. And he has not yet gotten on the field to throw, but we think that's about to happen. And so for that reason, we bring in Todd McShay, who is there right now waiting for the action to happen. And Matt Corral with a big opportunity today in front of all these GMs and head coaches, considering the fact that we didn't see him at the Combine dealing with the ankle injury, of course. What are you expecting today, Todd? What's important for Corral here to show everybody?
There's been a lot of change of information today, Laura, from the time that he was going to throw to he's running a 40 and might run shuttles to he's not going to run it all, just going to throw. So we're sifting through all of it as it goes. But ultimately, the only important thing from Matt Corral today is to come out and show that his ankle injury is behind him, that he's 100% throwing the ball, the quickness of his drops, driving off his back foot. Remember, it is his right ankle that was injured, and so that's his drive leg that he has to generate all of that power off of. So you want to see all of those things and just make sure that he's healthy, which all the doctors and everyone is saying is the case. The other thing I want to see too is the deep accuracy. As you know, in this offense, there's a lot of RPO and throws within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. His catalog just isn't as big as a lot of the other quarterbacks down the field. And when he has thrown 20-plus yards down the field, he just completed 39.5%, which is fifth among the 6 quarterbacks that we've talked about in the first 2 days of the draft this year. So I want to see the accuracy down the field in addition, obviously, to the most important thing, that he's healthy and looks like himself and what you see on tape.
Yeah, again, you're looking at Matt Corral live right now at his pro day there at Ole Miss. The advice today from his head coach, Lane Kiffin, breathe between every throw, as Matt Corral feels that he's got a lot to prove. And Todd, you're mentioning the ankle injury is something that he needs to prove he's past today. But what are the other concerns that maybe you have and you're hearing other teams may have about Corral at the next level?
Like I said, I think the system's a big part of it, adjusting. There will be some RPOs, and anyone who drafts him, you love the lightning quick hands that he has and how quickly he can get through his play action moves and how decisive he is and the snap release that he has. But he's going to have to adjust to an NFL offense and throw more of those intermediate 20, 25-yard anticipatory throws. Easy for me to say. But those are the kind of things that you want to see here. But most importantly, when teams get him one-on-one in their private workouts and run their route trees and install their plays, that's where they're going to find out a lot more about him. But remember, too, Laura, like this whole pre-draft process has been different for the quarterbacks this year because everyone's participated in everything, from the Senior Bowl to the Combine, all the quarterbacks throwing except Corral because of the injury. So this is really the first time in a couple months, all the anticipation building. So it's fun to see him on the field again, and now everyone just wants to make sure that he's 100%.
Yeah, a reminder, too, to people, Todd, I mean, to the points that you're making, the last time we really saw him on the field was when he was gutting it out in the Sugar Bowl, wanted to play, wanted to be there with his team. That's the type of player that he is. I think a lot of NFL teams will like that about him as they learn a little bit more. Thanks to Todd. We got more
Laura,
from you coming.
Not to jump.
Go ahead.
I was just going to jump in, too. Just to your point, I talked to a general manager just the other day, compared him to Braveheart. He's like, wow. This guy is Braveheart, the way, just everyone just wants to follow him. We'll go into war with him, into battle, and he just has a heart of a lion. So there are some teams out there that are talking about him as the #1 quarterback. And I know for a fact that one team right now has a large contingency in their draft room, if you will,